Good morning, everyone. My name is Huaimin. I'm from City University of Hong Kong, and my supervisor is Dr. Caroline. Thanks her for giving this opportunity to me to have a presentation here. So my topic is about sulfur pit production via food waste, valorization, and separation design. So the outline of my presentation is first I'm going to give you some background information, and then the research aim, followed with experimental design, and the result and discussion. Not at least, but the last is for the technology. So first, what is biospectant? It's a surface active agent that naturally produced by the microbes. So for this type of biospectrum molecule, it will have two sides. Okay. So first, it will have polar side, which is hydrophilic, can dissolve with water, and the other side is non-polar side, which is hydrophobic, easily dissolve with oil. So with this kind of molecular structure, the biospectrum will reduce the surface tension between two phases. So what's the advantage of biospectant compared with chemical synthesized spectant? So first is alternative options to the synthesized spectants, and compare with chemical synthesized one. It has lower toxicity, as well as the biodegradability is much higher, and also have many broad applications we can see from here. It can be used as environmental remediation reagent. So it can basically remove the heavy metal ions from the polluted soil, and also it can be used for enhanced oil recovery in the oil refinery industry. Also mostly used as washing detergent compared to the chemical synthesis one. And its application is not only limited to the here, but also that can be used as an emulsification and demulsification agent. And also some Europe company already use it to in health and beauty products, also in pharmaceutical products, because it's showing anti-tumor effect. So with all these advantages and benefits, what's the challenge we have? So the challenges we mainly focus on is about the high cost of the materials, because we know in fermentation we need a lot of energy input, as well as the cost of the raw materials like sugars and oils need to be fit for the fermentation. And because this technology is not able to commercialize, is because yield is not reaching the commercializable yield. And also in downstream process, the recovery and the purification cost is still high. So we want to tackle with these challenges. And also another problem in Hong Kong, as mentioned by the professor from Open University, is a food waste problem in Hong Kong. Okay, so there's around 3,600 tons of food waste was dumped to landfill every day in Hong Kong, and around 30 tons of edible food is disposed by the supermarket every day. So the problem caused by direct landfill is environmental and hygiene issues, as well as Hong Kong is running out of landfill spaces, and the emission of greenhouse gas and can damage the climate. So we want to tackle the two problems together, and here is our research aim here. So if we want to commercialize this kind of technology, we have three main focus. First, we want to higher the yield and the productivity. And by doing this, we can have two options. First is we can have a genetically modified strain, which will increase the selectivity or enhance the productivity. Another way is to find a better fermentation strategy here. And for the cheaper feedstock, we actually want to try with food waste. Because it's first a waste source, and also food waste is a very nutrient-rich source. So we want to try with food waste, see if it can be valorized to be a feedstock for our fermentation. But for downstream process, we are not focusing here. So for the fermentation strategy we are talking, we first try batch fermentation using our food waste hydrolysis as a substrate. And after that, we tried feed batch fermentation, which we know will normally enhance the productivity and cell density. And after these two, we tried the design of the feed batch with in-situ separation. Because sulfur-lipid is going to condense in the fermentation broth if you don't provide any agitation. So we are thinking about if we apply a separation, in-situ separation here, maybe we can separate the sulfur-lipid and pump back the broth and feed new glucose and oleic acid to let it going to produce our product again. So this is a basic idea of the feed batch with in-situ separation. Okay, so this is how we deal with the food waste hydrolysis. Okay, we provide the enzyme, protease, lipase, and glucanase. Because our food waste is Chinese style, so it will have firstly the rice and the noodles, which will be hydrolyzed with the glucanase, and also has some part of the meat, like pork, beef, so we need protease. Also some fat from chicken skin, duck skin, so we need the lipase. The loading ratio is 1% for all of them, and the condition is controlled here. So after the hydrolysis, which is here, we're using a pedal mixer, very strong hydrolysis facility, so we can harvest our food waste hydrolysis with a glucose concentration around 100 gram per liter. And the free alpha amino nitrogen is around 2,400 milligram per liter. So this kind of data is showing that the food waste hydrolysis is very good for the fermentation, micro-based fermentation. And here is a strain we choose for our production, which is Stammarella bombicola ATCC 22214. It's a native strain we purchased from ATCC, and it's now reported as probably the most productive strain, native strain that can be used to produce our product, which is sulfur-lipid. Okay. So here is our experiment outline. We have the food waste hydrolysis and the strain, and we go for fermentation here. So after it's producing our product, which is sulfur-lipid, we pump the hydrolysis to the separation unit and let it condense by gravity, and then we push the separated product to the collection motor and push back the fermentation broth to let it fermentation again. So for analysis, we mainly using HPLC equipped with two different detectors. So we use evaporate lighting scattering detector for our sulfur-lipid detection, and use eye detector for glucose. And here is our separation, in-situ separation design. So first ferment here, and when we detect the sulfur-lipid concentration to a certain level, we know it can be condensed, and we pump the fermentation broth to the separation, in-situ separation unit. And then after it's condensed, we provide some air pressure to push the sulfur-lipid to the collection bottle here. Okay, and then after it's been separated and push the product out, we push back the fermentation broth to the fermenter. And we feed fresh glucose and oleic acid to let it produce our product again. So here is showing the picture of the crude sulfur-lipid we collected from the fermentation. Okay, so here comes result and discussion. As I mentioned before, we first conducted a batch fermentation. With doing batch fermentation, we want to prove that our food waste hydrolysis is being able to be utilized by the microbe and produce our product. So we can see from the figures, the glucose actually consumed very fast. And also the CDW actually reached 41 gram per liter in the end. So which means firstly, the food waste hydrolysis will not inhibit the cell growth. Otherwise, it cannot reach this high level of cell dry weight. And on the other hand, because we can see from the figure, it eventually produced some our product, which is sulfur-lipid, at a range around 30 gram per liter. So which also means it didn't inhibit the production of the superlipid. So this is what we get from our batch fermentation. And after that, we conducted feed batch fermentation. So we control the glucose when it's almost used up. We feed new fresh glucose, and also this time we feed oleic acid. So oleic acid is bone for the superlipid, which is our production. With providing this bone directly, it will reduce increase productivity. Because if you don't provide this one, the microbe need to synthesize it itself from the glucose. So with directly produce this one, you will increase productivity. And we can see from here, the glucose we total feed is 340 gram, oleic acid 130 gram. So the maximum CDW we reach is around 100 gram per liter, and the superlipid is around 185 gram per liter. So compared to batch fermentation, it's actually a very big increase. We will have a summary table later to compare all these different fermentation strategies. So after feed batch fermentation, we go to the design I just mentioned before, the feed batch equipped with in-situ separation fermentation. So the strategy basically the same. When the glucose is almost used up, we will feed fresh one as well as the oleic acid. And also the CDW increase very high. So the difference is when the superlipid accumulate to a level, we will having a separation here. So you can see actually superlipid concentration inside the fermentation process is increased and separation, so it's decreased. With applying this strategy, the maximum CDW further increased to 124 gram per liter. And the superlipid production has a very big increase to 677 gram per liter, which means this kind of strategy is very suitable for superlipid production using these microbes. Because we are running this for 440 hours, which is if we want to prove this kind of setup is more stable, we need to run a longer time. So we running for 480 hours. So strategy is all the same, but running for a longer time. And we can see the CDW is approximate the same, but the maximum superlipid produced is much higher. And also we didn't see any inhibition during the long-term fermentation, which means our setup can be used for long-term fermentation, which is one step closer to the commercialization. And here is a compare table, okay, summary table. We can see the superlipid we produced is increasing with strategy improvement as well as the yield and productivity. So the productivity over 2 grams per liter per hour is kind of critical value that if it's feasible for commercialization or not. And here is equations how we calculated our productivity, yield, and also the separation efficiency. In our separation system, because other people will also, other researchers in the world also do a separation about this, but we have separation efficiency very high. If we calculate it based on the percentage, it's around 93%. And here is our work compared to other researchers which are using waste feedstock to produce biospectin. And we actually reaching a very high titer as well as productivity. Okay. So for conclusion, the food waste hydrolysate firstly can be utilized as a substrate to produce superlipid, and in our feed batch fermentation, which is equipped with a separation unit, will further improves the titer, yield, and productivity. So the average productivity of 2.4 grams per liter per hour is quite high compared to the previous research, also showing a very high potential in commercialization. And thanks for my research teams. First is ARG grant from City University of Hong Kong, and also my supplier, Dr. Caroline, and also my co-investigator. investigators in Ghent University, William Sohak and Sophie, and also Gunit, Milky, and Chris. Thank you for listening.